Curt, it's the kind of day that we live for in the Pacific Northwest. It's a glorious, sunshiny, blue sky morning.
It's pretty much perfect. And the truth is, yes, we wait all year for this. It may end up being a month and a half or 2 months or a few weeks. But yes, summertime, as we close in on it, is fantastic in the Pacific Northwest. In the PNW. It is Curt and Jen. Hello. Welcome to the podcast where today we're going to cover all kinds of fun things.
Like?
Oh, you want an actual like then? Okay.
Yeah.
How about the fact that the Boy Scouts of America is changing their name? How about what is the best state in America? That's a big one. What about guilt tipping? We talked about tipping a few days ago. This guilt tipping thing that I saw, I really think it opens it up even more.
Okay.
The guilt tipping. And finally, we want to hear about your TikTok hack that actually worked.
I'll give it to you.
Unlike those non-working TikTok hacks. So Jen's got a good one.
Non-working ones.
All right. Yesterday
I had some things happen. Let's see. Well, I learned that snail mail really is snail mail.
What's going on with the snail mail?
So, Cobra Insurance, they wanted me to pay a 3% fee if I wanted to pay over the phone. I'm like, you have no option on online portal to get it directly from my account to avoid the fee. Nope, you either have to mail a check into us,
right, or
you pay this 3% fee, which Cobra's expensive. It's over $1,000 US. 3% of that is a $30 fee. Well, it would be over a $30 fee.
Right.
$30 fee on insurance that I already can't afford. So I'm mad about this, right?
I don't blame you. There's a principle as well. I mean, yes, it's $30, but even if it was less than that, it's like, why is there an extra fee?
There's ways to avoid the fees. Mm-hmm. Just get Cobra, come on. Quit ripping people off.
And the snail mail leaves you like, well, do they even have it yet? It's been a week.
Over a week. Yeah. It's been over a week. So, and maybe it's not the snail mail part of it. Maybe it's their processing part. I don't know, but I'm not happy about that.
Clearly, some people that work for Cobra are listening right now. So let's get on it here, Cobra people.
The other thing is that I went on a girls' field trip last night.
With your friends?
With two of my other girlfriends to Lovers. And it was very fun and it was educational. And I highly recommend that if you want to just spice things up and try something new, take out your girlfriends, all go out together.
Toys and delicious things
makes it super
eat off of your body.
No.
Yes.
Well, you can.
That's what's there. Yeah.
There's all kinds of things. No matter what you're into, they've got it. And this is not a commercial for them at all. It's just like a little, if you just want to spice things up a little bit and go with your girlfriends. I learned so much last night and I'm very excited about my future.
Are you prepared to share any of it?
No.
It's family.
Well, here's what I can share.
Family podcast.
Yes, I know. And I want to keep it family friendly, but I also don't want to ignore that because I think talking about your sexuality is totally fine.
Absolutely.
And it should be just a normal thing. But what my friend learned, she's like, on the way there, we're driving. She's like, something I learned over the weekend. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. She said, if your husband or partner eats spicy habanero wings, that everything should be washed off very thoroughly before any intimacy comes into play. There you go.
Well, people know.
And you're welcome for sharing.
You don't handle hot peppers and then rub your eye, right?
Right.
That's same type of thing, just not involving necessarily an eye. Yes. Wash your hands after the hot stuff, guys, or everybody.
And maybe even brush your teeth or something. Okay.
What I learned yesterday.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
I am. I love learning new things.
It takes
two to make a thing go right.
Well, there's that. That's obvious. It takes two to make a thing go right.
It takes two to make a thing go right. Okay, go.
2 fire trucks and 2 ambulances. They call them ambulances? Ambuli. Mm-hmm. Pulled up on our street, our little cul-de-sac here. We have maybe 15 homes out there?
Oh, not
even that. No, it's not even that many. It's a little tiny cul-de-sac. So Dana and I are taking Bella Beagle for a walk. And as we get to the end of the street, woo! And of course, right away, we're like, oh, maybe it's Pat.
Firefighter Pat?
Maybe it's Pat. Yeah, no, that's not our fire department. Is the one down the other way.
Okay.
So the fire truck comes in, followed quickly by an EMS little truck.
Little truck.
All right, so it is really small compared to that big old, what they used to call a hook and ladder, I guess. Well, you know what they're called. What are they, just ladder trucks?
Ladder trucks.
Okay.
You're talking about the big ass
fire
trucks?
Yeah. And so then we turn the corner to walk, and here comes another EMS person. And then here comes a fourth vehicle, which is another big fire truck.
Are you kidding? What's going on?
Well, so we had to find out. We turned around. We were just a block away, turn around, walk back down the street. Best I could tell, because I didn't want to bother them. I'm sure that the firefighters
No,
love it.
you
Hey,
can't.
man,
You just need to leave them alone and
I live here. What's going on? Perhaps I can be of assistance.
Yeah, right. Be an assistant by going back into your house, please.
It looks like our neighbor, 1, 2, 3, 4 houses down, might have had or suspected a gas leak because they had the garage door open and they were working with some kind of a wand. It looked like something out of Ghostbusters.
Maybe trying to find like carbon dioxide.
Yeah, something like that. Or I don't know what they used that. They were waving it around. Maybe it was a Harry Potter thing.
Yes, that's probably what it was. I'm going to ask Pat if he has a magic wand. Oh, wait, he does.
Back to the lovers story. So I think I didn't ask, but I think that's what it was. And then for some reason I was the cul-de-sac spokesperson because then people came pouring out of their house to me. What's going on? What's going on, man?
And so did you make something up?
No.
What did you say?
Well, remember, I am the VP of the HOA.
Yes, so you are.
I'm held in pretty high esteem.
Probably that means you're the spokesperson too.
Yeah. I just said, hey, it looks like it might be a suspected gas leak. Because as soon as I said gas leak, I was like, well, it looks like they're checking out to see if it's a gas leak. I don't know. Because you don't want to start rumors and stuff.
You just did, Curt.
Anyway, that's how much, and I appreciate the quick response, but I also kind of think that was that necessary to spend all that time and the firefighters' time and whatever to come out here for a gas leak?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
You want to know why? Because there was a gas leak in a house, not even. Well, kind of near one of my friend's house, a few of them, because we all live in the same general area. And there was a gas leak, and it did ignite, and it you could feel and hear it.
Oh yeah,
from several blocks away. So they have to take that stuff seriously because at any time, if there was a gas leak in there, and at any point it got to the furnace or whatever,
kaboom.
Yeah. So they got to be on the ready if there's
Well,
I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that is how they got to treat it because
as a hot firefighter girlfriend. Girlfriend of a hot firefighter. Okay.
Thanks.
Yes, you know more about it than I do already. So
Probably
that was the excitement for the cul-de-sac here. I've been talking about it for years. Remember all those fire trucks showed up that one day? But yeah, that's what we had yesterday.
I did learn one more thing, and I mentioned it to you when I first got in because I had to look it up.
What's that?
We were at the Crowbar last night after our field trip to Lovers, and someone mentioned the fact that they live in a neighborhood with the Bothell Hell House. And we're like, what? The Bothell Hell House? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, it's a haunted house. It was on what's that show? Ghost Hunters or whatever.
Something like that,
There's a couple books that have been written about it. Like, it's a legit thing, and it's right down the street from us.
Yeah, you actually have a Bothell mailing address. You're in the city of Bothell.
I am in Bothell,
and I'm in Mill Creek, which is right next door.
So in between us, there's a Bothell Hell House.
I had no idea we had a hell house.
Me either. And it's in just like this normal neighborhood, but it is scary. Like, read about it. That's all I'm saying.
The Bothell
weird
Hell House.
Weird, crazy stuff like Bibles being ripped up, and it's weird.
Bibles being ripped. That's just regular haunted house stuff, isn't it? I was expecting to see like a spook or...
No, there was all the things.
Oh, okay.
They saw a planter move like right by their TV. All the stories gives me shivers.
I love when you say all the things.
All the things. All the things
happen at the Bothell Hell House.
Yes.
I discussed last night with Dana, in a very nice manner, laundry rules.
Oh, do you have laundry rules?
Well, it ended up being that because my question is, and this is actually to everyone.
Okay.
All of her clothes, every single piece of clothing,
okay,
is turned inside out.
Oh no,
is turned inside out. Now
that's a rule at my house.
We do that like with, say you've got a T-shirt with a print on it, and you're like, okay,
yeah, just save it.
Turn those inside out.
Yes,
that might help. I watched this inside out. This Kraken jersey. But everything is inside out. And so the question is, A, why? And B, is it important to turn them back right side out before you fold them? I'm
not doing that as a parent. I will not do that. I ask, please, unless there's an exception, like you said, about let's save the print of the shirt.
Right.
Then turn your clothes right side out.
Well, they already are right side out when you take it. That's my thing. It's like don't you have to make an effort to turn them inside out?
Well, I
guess
mean,
if you
here's
peel
the
them
thing.
off.
If you just like peel them off, like it sounds
gonna
like
turn
you guys are
inside out.
having some good times if that's the way clothes are coming off.
Well, I don't want to go into that right now. That's a whole nother. That's a broadcast and a podcast in itself.
Yes.
But yeah, so the inside out clothes. So you said
I'm not turning them inside. Sometimes I will.
Turn them right side
Many
out.
times I won't. I'll either not fold them at all or I'll fold them inside out.
somehow that seems wrong. And
It is wrong.
not
I
wrong
feel
that you
wrong
do
about
that.
it. No, but I feel wrong about it. But it's a lesson.
Yes, there you go. And you were also asking about, and this is something you brought up. Do you sort your clothes before you wash them? That's a hard yes for
Yeah.
me.
Oh, you do white and color. Like, how do you sort them?
Well, that's it. Whites and colors. And maybe if there's delicates or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But all colors. So you're saying, yeah. And you get a new red shirt in with even clothes that have been washed many, many times. And even if they're colors, you might get a little bit of a
Red in
in
there.
your jeans or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, obviously, yeah, got to sort. But as
Obviously, it's not because I oftentimes will just put everything in there at the same time.
But you
Whites, colors, doesn't matter.
are you just in a hurry, or do you know that you're doing
Efficiency.
that while you're doing it?
Oh, no, I know. Efficiency.
How efficient is when you have to replace all your white clothing and it's now pink?
I try to be careful that way. Like I'll watch for the new stuff. Anyway.
So, okay, I don't
So
feel
there is laundry
bad.
rules, and if you share a laundry room, like if there's an apartment building or you go to a laundromat, I know there's rules there.
Yes.
Unwritten rules.
We should get the rules written on the wall from the laundromat and put them up in our laundry room.
Yes.
Because they're important rules.
Don't hog the washing machine.
Don't leave. What about leaving clothes in the washer overnight?
No. Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
You heard it here first, or you heard it here last.
This is crazy to me. The Boy Scouts of America changing its name to Scouting America.
Yeah.
To be more inclusive, which I love that part of it. But my goodness, that's has been such an institution in America. So I imagine there is a lot of controversy around this.
Well, February is when the name change is going to go into effect.
Yeah, this
and
coming
they have been allowing, girls have been allowed to join the Boy Scouts of America since 2018, and that's good. There is a quote here. This is to reflect this is for the name change,
Right.
To reflect their ongoing commitment to welcome every youth and family in America to experience the benefits of scouting. And again, February, this will go into effect, which is the 115th anniversary, as you mentioned as well.
February 8th. Yeah.
So, but I didn't know this, that going back to when they said, okay, girls have been allowed in since 2018, I didn't know, first of all, that the Boy Scouts of America and the Girl Scouts of America were not affiliated in any way. They're their own separate entities completely.
Yeah.
And apparently, when girls were first allowed into the Boy Scouts, maybe even now, some of the Girl Scout people, they said, hey, we're not exactly thrilled about this.
Because it's harder for them to recruit, right?
Right. They want to keep the Girl Scouts going. And so it's like, but then again, should boys be able to join the Girl Scouts?
Can they? I actually don't know the answer to that. We should have probably researched that before
well, certainly
we start asking each other questions.
If it's going to be just one entity and it's just going to be Scouting America and it will be all inclusive, then maybe that's the end of the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts individually, and they just make one big happy family?
No, because there's different principles for both of them. I mean, some of them are mostly this, like they're similar, but you're doing different things. You're like, I don't think you can do that. Right.
There are differences between boys and girls when they're growing up, and they, like you said, there are different things that they do when they're scouting. I'm
going to have to research that after the show. I bet the boys can join.
And so, are we hanging ourselves out here? Because this is where I think it gets very black and white for some people. It's like, well, you got to be, you either can't 100% or you got to be 100% in. And to me, it's like, well, there are some things that, yes, I think it's good to be all inclusive and whatnot. But what do you do? Do you eliminate both of the individual scouts and just have one big super scouts?
No, I don't think you do. If you're asking my opinion, I think you still keep them separate. I like that they're including everybody, but that is huge that happened. I'm just
right. The new name in February. You guys stop
Scouting
saying
America.
Boy Scouts. Are they going to be?
America.
Are they going to be? But then do we change the name of Girl Scout cookies eventually to just Scouting America cookies? Girl Scout cookies.
Or it's a Boy Scout popcorn. Is it Scouting America
I
popcorn?
suppose so,
It's
yes.
popcorn for all of America.
It's out there now.
It is.
Offer what they want. Now, I want to hear about your TikTok hack.
Yes. Okay, so something else I learned is that you really ought to read instructions on the back of things if you aren't 100% sure. But I thought I was 100% sure on this.
You don't feel like you were not shirking your duties by not reading the instructions.
Right. I thought that as I was making rice, it's 2 to 1. 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice.
Okay.
And I wanted to make 3 cups of rice because we were doing a whole Cinco de Mayo
So
thing.
that's 6 cups of water.
And 3 cups of rice.
Math.
Yes.
Nice job.
The problem is it wasn't white enriched long grain rice. It was some other variety of rice, so that when it was time for the rice to be done,
Bueno?
there was a lot of extra water.
Okay.
And we're like, why is that? Like, isn't a rice maker? The rice maker should make it exactly how it needs to be made.
Yeah, generally watery, runny, soupy rice is not what you're shooting for.
It's operator error, not the operation.
So when you read the instructions, what did it say?
1.5 cups of water
Oh.
to 1 cup of rice. So
it-
we had a lot of extra water. So I just recently seen on TikTok that one of the hacks that you can do if this happens to you is that you put a piece of bread into the rice.
It soaks up the water.
And it soaks up the water. And it did. It worked.
Would a paper towel also work?
Well, I don't know, but the bread worked, Curt. That was
That's the important thing,
That
yes.
was the hack. Well, we had to first make sure that we had some bread in the house,
Right.
which we did, and so we put it. It was actually at Pat's son's house, so
Was it not the
thankfully
really
he
good
had
bread?
all the things.
Just the regular old Wonder Bread or
yeah.
whatever? Okay.
It was like
You're not going to
ghetto,
put the big sourdough loaf
really
in there.
good for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches kind of bread.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you put it in there, soaked up the water, and the rice was saved, and your night was saved.
it worked. It worked.
All right. I had not heard that.
I don't other hacks. Do you have any other hacks?
Well, you're
didn't
talking
look on
about
the-
you're
I
talking
didn't
about
look on
rice
our
and
Facebook
water,
page.
and I just recently read that the old hey, I dropped my phone in the toilet. I dropped my phone. I got it wet.
Yeah,
when
put
it's
it in a bag
submerged.
of rice,
They were saying that that's not the thing to do, and you're going to ask me what is the thing to do then?
and you don't remember?
I don't remember, but it seemed like it was just let it air dry. I think somehow the rice putting it in
What
the rice
about the
could
hair
be,
dryer?
I don't know about that.
You
Now
could
you're
burn
looking-
the components. I
How
think.
about putting it in the stove? I don't know. I'm going to keep saying I don't know.
Okay.
Microwave it. How about that?
Well, we could Google it.
Okay, not right now, right here. You were just asking me about the hacks that I had heard, and that was really the only one that came to mind.
Yeah,
And
that
it
so
turns
that
out-
hack actually worked, and I know there's other hacks out there, and I will share them as I discover them.
That's because you enjoy putting your phone in the toilet pretty much weekly.
No,
Okay.
I drop my phone weekly.
Yes. All
That's
right,
why it
not
has
in
a
the toilet.
protective cover.
Well, I'm going to mention here that today, it's May 8th, and this is the silly holiday for today. One of them is it's National No Socks Day, all right?
Can we pause for 1 second?
That I'm actually going with a national holiday that's a goofy holiday and bringing it up.
Well, I love that you're bringing it up because you
Right.
know me and national holidays. However, isn't it today, hooray, hooray for the 8th of May?
I've never heard of that.
What? It's where you do it outdoors.
Oh, well, I'm happy to hear about that.
It's outdoor. It is outdoor. Let's do it
Hooray,
outdoors.
hooray, the 8th of May.
Hooray, hooray for the 8th of May. It's really big
Wow.
over at Washington State University.
You didn't go there.
I did not go there, but
Okay.
I'm saying it's a big thing over there.
All you do is not the dogs, the cougars.
No, I'm not talking the Cougars.
Wait, hear me out.
Okay.
But then all of a sudden something comes along that came up from there, and you're like, oh, I'm on board with this.
I mean,
Even if this is a coug thing.
why not? Why not celebrate hooray, hooray for the 8th of May is what I'm saying.
You know what else the 8th of May is?
Socks Day.
National No Socks Day.
Okay.
And
No
this-
Socks Day.
No
Okay.
Socks
You
Day,
don't
which
wear socks today.
Most people celebrate that. A lot of people celebrate that every day, and that's great. It reminded me, and this is something I'm bringing up to see if this is actually legit. A friend of mine, this is before we lived in Seattle, the Seattle area, so this is going back to mid-'90s. In their house, a lot of people have the no shoes in the house rule, and that's fine because
Yeah.
shoes bring in all kinds of gunk and whatnot.
Sure, they
Understood.
sure do.
So the no shoes rule. But so they had this in their house, but also I guess he had a thing about bare feet. He thought that bare feet were gross.
Yeah.
Some people think feet are gross, or that, I don't know, walking in bare feet on their carpet was going to be somehow gross as well because it's bare feet. Anyway, so they had a no bare feet rule as well, and they had socks, those little ankle socks, to give to guests when they came in. It's like, here, take off your shoes. Oh, you're wearing flip-flops. Take your flip-flops off. Here's some socks. Is that weird?
Yes.
Okay. Because I always thought it
am
was.
not like, okay, so you don't like my bare feet, but you want me to put on these socks where I don't even know if you've washed them, if someone else has worn them.
Well, I'm sure
Like,
that they were
what's
clean.
going on?
Yes, but it could go both ways is what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Because this is one of my first experience with believe it or not, when I grew up, there were no houses that had no socks rules. Okay, it was just
You wore your shoes in the house.
yeah, or you probably took your shoes off just because you wanted to be comfortable. But yeah, that was not a thing, quote unquote. Although it probably should have been all our lives. But then at some point, it seemed like it caught on, and there were a lot of no socks or no shoes houses. And then this was, I think, a step too far because I thought that was weird as well. It's like, well, what are they doing with their bare feet on your floor? It's like, well, you never know.
I wonder what they were worried about. I do wonder what they were worried about.
Just a gross. Maybe they just didn't want to see people's gross feet if they thought that they were gross.
Well, there's 2 holidays to celebrate today.
8th of May. Hooray, hooray, the 8th of May.
Hooray, hooray for the 8th of May.
I just learned about that today.
And National No Sock Day.
Right. Best state in America.
Washington State made the list. It's not the number 1, but we did make the top 10.
You jumped right in there with that. That's good because, yes, we are in Washington State, as everybody knows. Most people know. We do have some people that have been listening from far, far away, so we have to explain that sometimes. And thank you for that.
Yeah, we love that they're listening.
The best state in America, according to U.S. News and World Report, and they did this based on everything from education, infrastructure, the economy, healthcare, things like that. And guess what? Go. Let me get my applause ready, okay? There we go.
Go
Utah! Yeah!
Utah was number 1. I was a little surprised by this. New Hampshire is second.
Okay.
Followed by Nebraska, Minnesota, our neighbors Idaho.
Right.
Iowa, Vermont, and then
Washington State.
Washington State. Go Washington State. So that makes us, was that 8th?
I think it's 8th, yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we're 8.
And
Florida's number 9. Massachusetts number 10.
How many of those states have you lived in?
Lived in? Well,
1. Right, 1?
Only Washington, yeah.
Okay.
How many have you?
Well, my father, when we were growing up, he worked for Procter & Gamble and got transferred a lot as he was going up through the ranks. So we was born in Cincinnati, lived in 2 locations in Cincinnati, Ohio, spent a couple years in Albany, Georgia.
Okay.
And then we moved to Iowa City, Iowa. So
you lived in Iowa and Washington State.
Right. So that's at least 2. My folks are from Florida. They live in Florida now.
But you have never lived in Florida.
I've never lived in Florida.
You visit there a lot.
Yeah. So, but the thing I wanted to say is, in defense of Iowa, I think people think the flyover states like Nebraska and Iowa, whatever else, because also wouldn't like Colorado be included in that?
Middle, like this, the middle of the country?
There's a lot of awesome things going on in Iowa. I really, the people are fantastic. The food is great. The agriculture, corn, all that kind of stuff.
So it sounds like you like Iowa better than Washington State, and it ranked higher on the list. So.
Do I have to choose? I like Washington State better than Iowa.
U.S. News and World Report chose Iowa better than Washington State. Isn't it U.S. News and World Report?
I don't want to make it a competition. I just like both states.
Worst states? Are you ready for these? Because I think it's worth mentioning. The worst state is Louisiana. New Mexico is second worst, followed by Mississippi, Arkansas, West Virginia, and I do not agree with this. Alaska.
Well, why do you not agree with it? You agree with it on the best states.
I would put that on one of the best states, but what did the category they had?
Education was one of the things.
8 categories.
Healthcare, infrastructure, the economy,
and more. They had more. They had
I had never met somebody from Alaska till I moved here to the Seattle area, and Alaskans are a fun breed. They're unique.
Well, it's a beautiful state.
It is a beautiful state. And you talk about wilderness. I mean, people think that my friends that are still in the Midwest think, oh, you're out there in the wilderness. Like,
nope.
Alaska.
There's a lot of wilderness out there, that's for sure.
New Mexico, I think, would be okay to live. I know it's hot, and there's scorpions and rattlesnakes and stuff. So you're out already. You're out already.
There's all the things.
All the things.
that I'm not a part of, that I don't want to be a part of. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I experienced this last night.
Oh.
But it's not what you might think based on what I said earlier in the podcast of where I went.
Wow. I'm going there a lot today.
The awkwardness or pressure about leaving a tip.
Yeah. They're saying that the deal is a lot of people feel guilted into tipping, and this is the thing, to the tune of about $500 a year. Guilt tipping.
Which, you mean the guilt tip is $500, or they're spending $500 a year tipping?
Just guilt
on the
tipping.
Guilt part.
Yeah,
okay.
we probably spend more than $500 a year in tips, depending on how much you entertain. I mean, say you go out or whatever. But so they polled 2,000 Americans were asked how much guilt tipping do you feel is impacting your wallets, and the average response was $37.80 a month. tipping due to the pressure of the tipping options presented to them, which means it used to be obviously just, the server would come over, thank you, appreciate it, they give you the bill, and you would tip. But now you do it
you're talking about on the machine.
Screen.
On the machine, like either they have the iPad that they turn around and it's already marked 22%.
Yeah.
So you have to physically say, no, I'm going to do 18 or I'm going to do 20. Or in my case, if the service was not good.
Like last night?
Yeah. It was really terrible. Not at Crowbar. We went someplace before that, and I will not mention the name. But I was so disappointed. There was hardly anyone in the restaurant, first and foremost. So there is no excuse why you couldn't wait on our table.
And did you leave a tip still?
I did still leave a tip. Yeah, because I felt bad.
Was it reflected in the service? Did you leave less than 20% or more?
I did leave less than 20%. And after I left, I think it was 18. It might have been a little over 18.
But that
I made it a nice round number.
But that did not drive the message home that, hey, we were given bad
because
service.
I felt pressure that I needed a tip. And then after I left the tip, one of my friends is like, did they already put a service charge on there too? And I'm like, I didn't look. Yes, they did. So they ended up getting more. And
I realized we were talking about tips just a few shows ago. But this whole guilt tipping thing, and that's an actual thing where they flip it around, and often it's things that I would not have thought about tipping in the past. You know what I mean? It's
like you mean 22% or
no. It just we're at say a place that's a self-serve place, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I won't tip.
So
there.
you go, you're going to a Mongolian barbecue or something like that, where you go and you get your food together, and yes, somebody puts it on the grill and cooks it up, but then you're done.
I'll tip there.
Yeah. Now, that's one where I would say, okay, well, we really did all the work. Is this a tip-worthy establishment? And it is, and I always do. But they still flip that thing around at the end where it's like 22%.
I usually put the money out where the people are.
Right, that's true. They have a tip jar for the I guess the cooks or whatever, and you throw a buck or two in there. But then again,
every place is asking for tips now, and it is getting annoying. So places that's like, no. Right. You shouldn't. No.
That $37.80 a month, by the way, turns out to about $454 of guilt-induced gratuity every year.
Okay.
But what do you do about that? Because I feel badly.
Nothing. You do. You just make a conscious decision. You either are going to guilt tip or you're not, and you just need to stand in your beliefs of whatever that is. Period.
Yeah, I think that I never do less than 20%. It's just.
I do.
Okay.
By the way, bad.
I knew somebody that if they got bad service, how insulting is this that they would leave a penny?
No.
That's just rude. I mean, that's really that's really sticking it to somebody.
Yeah. And I will say I will keep other factors in mind as well when I'm tipping. I just want to at least add this.
Right. Maybe they're short staffed.
Right. Like if they're like slammed and he or she is busting their butt to do the best they can, then that's something. But when there's literally 3 tables in the restaurant, one person should be able to handle that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and here's the other thing I was telling my friends about that. If I'm that person, I am busting my butt to drive do you want another cocktail? Like, I would be on top of it. Is there anything else I can bring you? Because you want to drive the final bill up.
Let's get some more money.
Drives your tip up.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't
Not everybody thinks like you, Jen.
No.
Wouldn't the world be a better place if they did?
Probably not. But
Probably not. That's what I was thinking too. So sorry about the guilt tipping. I guess we're stuck with it.
This is going to be good tomorrow.
Ooh.
Teachers are revealing parenting red flags. It's stuff they notice right away when they meet kids or parents for the first time. And this is good stuff.
Yes. And this is not all, and right away when you mentioned this, I was like, oh, that sounds like this is not bad, evil type of stuff that they're saying when the teachers.
No, it's just like if there's red flags they notice.
Right.
And some of it actually is bad. Like I feel bad for the kids or maybe the parents or whatever, and definitely the teachers.
Can I use the one example that we like so much? The one example of.
Go ahead.
Hey, we believe in letting our kids eat as much junk food.
We don't believe. No, it's we don't believe in.
We don't believe in.
That's the red flag. When a teacher hears,
we don't believe in.
We don't believe in. Fill in the blank, because it's usually more of an issue of you're not paying attention to what your kids' needs are.
We don't believe in limiting junk food.
We don't believe in bedtimes. Oh yeah, well your kid is massively sleep deprived.
Yes, way to go.
So maybe you should believe in it.
Believe in something different. Believe in bedtime.
Here's what I believe in.
What's that?
Making good choices, finding joy, and spreading kindness.
Thank you very much for being with us today. We'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then.
Have a good day.